Hey guys, we are in my living room today. Don't panic. Today's mug brought to you by BookieBox and Jenna Moresi. Links in the description. I asked you guys on Twitter what worst movie requesting next, and you said Friend Request, which has Alicia Debnam-Carrey in it, so we gotta. Alicia Debnam-Carrey is an amazing Australian actress who I've never seen do bad, but she does pretty bad in this movie. It's like they filmed it all in one take, or she just didn't care. Anyway, we open up in a college class and the professor is announcing that a student has killed herself and filmed the video and uploaded it to something. Alicia Debnam-Carrey looks particularly downfallen, but it's hard to tell with the acting. So we flash back, I think a couple of months, and she's on Facebook, surrounded by her friends, because that's totally how everyone uses Facebook. She watches a Screamer video and everyone thinks it's hilarious. I feel like this was written in like the early 2000s by someone over 40 who just figured out what the internet is. We see her accepting a bunch of friend requests, and this is probably going to be one of those like, Facebook is evil and ruins our lives and people need to write letters more and grow flowers or they're gonna kill themselves kind of movie. Or maybe it's about cyberbullying. As every character is introduced, we get like a montage of their Facebook posts, and I wish it didn't happen this way. We meet some of her friends and her boyfriend, and one of them is the little dude from Revenge, and he's in love with Alicia Debnam-Carrey. There's also like a dumpy girl sitting in the corner of the cafeteria making hard eyes at Alicia Debnam-Carrey, which seems like it's supposed to be creepy, but is really just what anyone would do under the circumstances. Later on, Alicia Debnam-Carrey gets a Facebook friend request from the dumpy girl, whose name is Morena, but on Facebook it's like Ma space Reina, which like looks like a witch thing. Ma has a lot of spooky posts and drawings, but no friends. I have a feeling her Facebook is like mystical or possessed or something, because it's next to impossible to have 0 friends unless you're really trying not to have friends. Like, there are so many weird people just ready to friend other weird people, and there's like your grandma usually, and like bots and scammers. Like, you got options. So everybody's like ragging on Ma, but Alicia Debnam-Carrey is feeling for her and thinks that her pictures are super cool. She's very excited about Alicia Debnam-Carrey existing, aren't we all? But she starts following her around, and we find out that Ma just transferred schools and doesn't know anyone yet. But that doesn't mean she wouldn't have Facebook friends. We watch Ma and she like cyberstalks Alicia Debnam-Carrey all the way back to 2006. How desperate. And we have a dream sequence where like Alicia Debnam-Carrey is looking out the window and she sees a wasp and she follows it down and she finds Ma, who's just like covered in wasps. And it's a jump scare, and that's like the second jump scare of the movie. So the jump scares are very, very jumpy, like might cause a seizure jumpy, but the movie overall is not particularly unsettling. It's like you want to eat spicy food, so you just like eat a spoonful of cayenne pepper. Like, it's not enjoyable, but the pain is there. So Ma photoshops a picture of them together and sends it to Alicia Debnam-Carrey, and is just constantly blowing up her phone with messages. And Alicia Debnam-Carrey is like, I guess this is fine. And then she and her 2 friends are like scrolling through Ma's Facebook page and seeing some really, really, really freaky stuff as opposed to the really freaky stuff that they saw earlier. And why is Facebook her venue? Like, there's Reddit and 4chan, Imgur, I don't know, she'd probably clean up on Tumblr. Like, Facebook is not the option. Ma calls Alicia Debnam-Carrey and is like, what we doing for your birthday? And Alicia Debnam-Carrey is like, oh, actually, it's just me and the boyfriend go and have a couples thing, thanks though. But then they post like 100 pictures on Facebook of her party, which, like, you know that Ma's on your Facebook 24/7 and that she's obsessed with you and that she's probably insane. Why is this a good plan? Her boyfriend is Peter Pevensey, by the way. Ma's outside the window watching them have a good time. We already know that it's gonna be okay because we saw Alicia Debnam-Carrey alive in the first scene, and we know that Ma kills herself. Like, I don't feel afraid of her. I don't feel like Alicia Debnam-Carrey is gonna get hurt. So Ma catches her in the cafeteria and they have an altercation about how she wasn't invited to the birthday party. Her hoodie ends up falling off and everyone sees where she pulled out all her hair, and they're like, that's icky. Also, Peter Pevensey as a grown-up could totally get it. Ma keeps video calling her and she keeps not answering, and there's like a whole bunch of unanswered messages from her, and then she goes and unfriends her. I'm still not over the concept of someone having a Facebook account for years and having 0 friends. You don't have Facebook friends because they like you. She has a freaky dream again, and then the next day is when they're in class, and we caught up to the flash forward at the beginning, and Ma is dead. We're only like 20 minutes in though, so I guess she's gonna have to like be haunted by Ma's ghost for this to make any sense. It turns out no one can find Ma's body. They just have the video so they know that she killed herself, and also all records of her have been erased from the school. So somehow the video gets sent to Alicia Debnam-Carrey, and she's like freaking out trying to delete it, and then it ends up posting to her Facebook profile, and it tagged all of her friends. And Ma is back on her friend list. She can't delete the video or unfriend Ma because Ma is a hacker ghost. She brings her laptop to the little guy from Revenge. He opens the code for Ma's Facebook, and it's just flashing like Mandarin and web dings. Facebook is the devil. So Gustavo is a random friend that's been around to make weird and sensitive dead girl comments, and Ma friended him somehow and is stalking him. Was Facebook mad about this movie? Do you think? Like, I remember that Pretty Little Liars episode where you could tell that it had been ADR'd for them to say website page instead of Facebook page. Like, they didn't want their name on a Pretty Little Liars episode, but this is fine. So we see Gustavo in his room, and then the lights go out, and he wanders around and sees a bunch of freaky stuff, like headless dolls and wasps' nests and, like, dead bodies. So he runs into an elevator trying to escape all the scary things, and his girlfriend is coming back from the store, and she opens the elevator and sees him beating his head against the wall until he dies. And then Alicia Debnam-Carrey realizes that Ma friended Gustavo right before he died. It's the ghost. Through Facebook. Posts keep appearing on her profile of like scary stuff, and everyone's like, why are you so weird? And then it posts the security footage from Gustavo killing himself in the elevator, and everyone's like, what? So she's losing all of her friends, but the guy from Revenge and Peter Pevensey are still helping her out. Subplot. Peter Pevensey is pretty insecure about the guy from Revenge hanging out with his girl. Peter Pevensey is a doctor, and the guy from Revenge is like a slacker college student who plays a lot of video games and doesn't shower very often. She's already dating Peter Pevensey. She clearly has the option of the other guy and has chosen Peter Pevensey. If you're jealous of anyone that your significant other hangs out with, then you should like check yourself. That's not normal or healthy, and these movies will never be without a sidebar of me critiquing their relationships. The guy from Revenge helps her find Ma's old school or orphanage or something. I think it's an orphanage. And Ma was bullied as a kid, and the headmistress said that she used to be weird and stare at her reflection in the computer screen for hours. They think she's a witch. But she killed 2 little boys. I don't know why she murders people and she's still, like, at school. They were bullying her, and she mutilated them and swarmed them with black wasps. The guy from Revenge does some Googling. Remember in the first Twilight movie where Bella just, like, Googles vampire, and the first thing she finds is all of these accurate vampire facts and the lore that only applies to her situation? Or in Teeth, where she does a web search and like the first result is vagina dentata with all of the information that she needs. Google is incredible. So anyway, he decides that the wasps and the killing yourself in the webcam are witch things, because like staring into the black mirror and sacrificing yourself, screens are black mirrors, technology's evil. There's a ticker on screen keeping track of how many friends Alicia Debnam-Carrey has on Facebook, and she's down to like 80 something. Alicia Debnam-Carrey's roommate jumps from a window and crashes onto their car, and they bring her to the hospital, but she ends up being left alone, and she rips all the tubes out, which was pretty icky. That's the only part that's gotten me so far. Could have done without it. And she steals like a security guard's gun and shoots herself. So the guy from Revenge and Alicia Debnam-Carrey find out that Ma's whole family died in a fire. So they decide that house is where she killed herself, so they go there. He's seeming pretty pissed off, so he's probably going to try to sacrifice her to the Black Mirror thing and save himself. They're heavily relying on that creepypasta story that he found earlier. So he ends up getting like the weirdness on his phone that everyone else got right before they killed themselves. And he sees like this ghoulish lady approaching him, but then Alicia Debnam-Carrey comes back and it disappears, and then they go into the basement. She's looking at all this spooky stuff, and then he disappears, and she finds him staring into a mirror, and she's like, bro, what you doing? And he's like, I'm sorry. You can't be lonely if you're dead, and tries to kill her, stabs her with a knife, but she shoves him down and then takes off running and outruns him with a knife wound. Hada. She figures out that she has to go to this factory. I don't know how she figured it out. She probably Googled it. And she's riding in the back of the cab, bleeding, and the cabbie is like, yo, do you like want me to bring you to the hospital? Mortally wounded child who looks to be under extreme duress. And she's like, nah, and he's like, okay. Peter Pevensey ends up going to find the guy from Revenge, and they get in the car and they go to find her at the factory because somehow they know that she's there too. Peter Pevensey finds her just in time for him to get stabbed in the throat by the guy from behind him because he's taking this real serious. He chases her around for a bit and then is enveloped in wasps. See ya. The little girl version of Ma shows up and is like, I just want to be best friends, Alicia Debnam-Carrey. She follows the little girl to a laptop with the webcam on, and Alicia Debnam-Carrey stares deeply into it, and then scary face, cut to black. And then we're back in the university cafeteria, and it's like a wide shot, and there's a girl sitting at the table with a hoodie, and I think we're supposed to think it's Ma, but I bet it's Alicia Debnam-Carrey. And I bet she's looking at her Facebook account, and I bet it has 0 friends, and I bet that her name is Laura. Sorry, but I bet it's like Lou space Ra. Oh, look at that. Amazing. So let's think about morals for a second. Someone watching this isn't going to be like, wow, Facebook is going to haunt me. That's scary. When applied to reality, the only conceivable lesson you can pull is don't be nice to weird people or they're going to kill you. Which is very similar to the moral in the movie Curve, which I've done a video on. You can go watch it and realize that these are fundamentally the same. So, all in all, Alicia Debnam-Carrey is my whole heart. But what the Thanks for watching. Subscribe for a new video every Thursday, and super duper thank you to all my patrons. One of which is William. You can find William on Twitter at Will Petterson. I don't know. Maybe it's Will Peterson. Well, you got too many letters in your name. Bye. I'm really glad that this particular horror movie genre is dying out. Excuse me, where are you going, ma'am? I need to get Sai a little puppy mittens so that she can walk quieter. Peter Pevensey pulls a wasp out of his ear canal, so I guess it's a good thing that one happened to the doctor. Because I'd have just, like, shoved a fork in my ear.